So I want to speak now on intuition. How do I connect to my intuition? And I have really a funny story on how I started to connect to my intuition. When I met my partner 12 years ago, anytime I would ask him a question or have a request, he would close his eyes and say, let me connect to my intuition, and close his eyes and like, yeah, we can do that, or yeah, we can go there. I'm like, what do you do when you close your eyes? He's like, I just connect to my intuition. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. And so anytime I would have a question for myself, I would like, could you tap into your intuition and ask? And he's like, you can do that too. Why are you asking me? And I'm like, I don't know, you seem to have something going there. And I'm not sure. And that was the state of mind where I was. I wasn't sure. I was so indecisive. I never could make my mind over right or wrong. And to have a person next to me that could say forcefully, right, wrong, or right, left, or good, bad. And I was like, wow, okay, that seems to be useful. And so we were living at the time in Ivory Coast, and we were driving somewhere and trying to find our way. We were lost. And I was driving and I said, oh, we should go this way. And he's like, no, I think we should go there. And I'm like, no, this way. And I don't need to close my eyes to connect to my intuition. And the fact that I said it in a moment of like upset, I would call it like, listen to me too. And when I heard myself saying that, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I don't need to close my eyes to connect to my intuition. So every person actually can connect to my intuition. To his or her intuition. And I started like noticing, I'm like, okay, well, how does it look like to connect to my intuition? So if it's not closing my eyes and I just know, there's this inner knowing. And one person that I really admired and supported me a lot in the process of my personal development is Sonia Choquette. We will give you some resources and reference. And Sonia has cards that are specific on how to tap into your intuition. And I used to use them a lot. And when I was using them, one of the cards was saying that your intuition is the small voice in your head that would not fight the other loud voices. Which means that in order for me to tap into my intuition, I needed to make silence in my head and stop this constant argument between this way or this way. What about this? And what about this? What about that? Which was my constant state of mind and was driving me and anybody that was around me crazy, this indecisiveness. And once I tapped into that, once I understood that my intuition is always there, there's nothing I need to do in order to tap into my intuition. The only thing is I need to be quiet. I need to let it speak up and listen. And the more I listen and act upon it, encourage my intuition to be more present. What does it mean, act upon it? So let's imagine I want to go to the supermarket and it's 4 p.m. and my intuition is like, not a good time right now, traffic. And I'm like, yeah, but I really want to go to the supermarket. And intuitively, I'm like, not a good time. If I listen to not a good time, my intuition feels encouraged and would continue giving me indication. If I don't listen and I just like, oh, whatever, this voice, I'm just going to go with my head. And that's the distinction. My head is the undecisive one. My intuition is in my heart. And when I tap into my intuition, I'm in my heart and I'm in the present. And so I have actually access to all the information that are invisible and that are unknown. When I tap into my heart and say, okay, is this a good time for me right now to go to the supermarket? My head might say, yes, because tomorrow you won't have time, or whatever else my mind would say. My heart would like, yeah, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right is the key. The key word is feel. How does it feel in my body when I project myself to go to the supermarket? How do I think? I think it's a good idea because it's 4 p.m. before it closes, blah, blah, blah. But how does it feel? It doesn't feel good. And so try it. Try to feel and ask yourself question. Ask yourself question of like, how does it feel if I do this? And how does it feel if I do that? It's very practical and it's very simple and it's very accessible. people feel that intuition is something out there that we need to learn or that we need to be coached on. And I can say that no, intuition is there inside of you, accessible. You can tap into it right now in this moment. Stop the video and ask yourself a question and listen to the answer. And whatever that answer is, act upon it, because that would be the encouragement for your intuition to be more present with you. Thank you. Yeah? Good.